some of Hollywood's most iconic movie couples is undeniable. This video dives into the behind-the-scenes stories of how these on-screen romances were brought to life, exploring the real-life connections and the impact they had on the films themselves. The magic of on-screen romance sounds like it could be an exploration of the art behind.
Captivated by the possibility of love that feels larger than life.
Here's how we can weave the real-life relationships of iconic couples into the narrative, showcasing their impact on their on-screen chemistry. While the magic of on-screen chemistry often feels like pure fantasy, some of the most unforgettable pairings have roots in real-life relationships, blurring the line between fiction and reality. Take Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall, for instance, Hollywood's quintessential power couple, whose off-screen romance elevated their on-screen connection to legendary status. Similarly, Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy brought their complicated, deeply affectionate off-screen dynamic into their 9 on-screen pairings. Their real-life romance, which spanned decades, but was kept private due to Tracy's marriage, added layers of authenticity to films like Adam's Rib and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Hepburn once described Tracy as magnetic, a quality that translated effortlessly into their performances. When they argued on screen, it crackled with genuine emotion. When they connected, it felt profoundly sincere. In contrast, the volatile yet passionate relationship of Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton bled into their performances in films like Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? Their tempestuous real-life love affair, fueled by passion, jealousy, and excess, perfectly suited the raw, unrelenting dynamic of George and Martha. Their chemistry was undeniable, but it was also turbulent, making their portrayal one of the most brutally authentic depictions of a marriage unraveling. These relationships remind us of the power of authenticity in cinema. When actors share a connection beyond the script, it elevates their performances, adding layers that no direction or dialogue can replicate. For audiences, it creates an experience that feels alive, as if they're glimpsing something deeply personal rather than a rehearsed performance. But what about the flip side? When chemistry thrives solely on screen despite no romantic connection off-camera, think Bogart and Ingrid Bergman in Casablanca, it shows how exceptional talent can fabricate intimacy so believable it becomes timeless. Would you like to dive deeper into these couples or explore other iconic pairings? While the magic of on-screen chemistry often feels like pure fantasy, some of the most unforgettable pairings have roots in real-life relationships, blurring the line between fiction and reality. Take Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall, for instance, Hollywood's quintessential power couple, whose off-screen romance elevated their on-screen connection to legendary status. Now, their first collaboration in To Have and Have Not, 1944, wasn't just Bacall's breakout role. It was the moment sparks flew between her and Bogart, despite their 25-year age gap and his existing marriage. Their smouldering banter in scenes like Bacall's iconic "You know how to whistle, don't you? You just put your lips together and blow," felt electric because it mirrored the undeniable chemistry blowing off camera. Audiences weren't just watching a fictional romance, they were witnessing the early stages of a real-life love story that would become one of Hollywood's greatest. Similarly, Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy brought their complicated, deeply affectionate off-screen dynamic into their 9 on-screen pairings. Their real-life romance, which spanned decades but was kept private due to Tracy's marriage, added layers of authenticity to films like Adam's Rib and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Hepburn once described Tracy as magnetic, a quality that translated effortlessly into their performances. When they argued on screen, it crackled with genuine emotion. When they connected, it felt profoundly sincere. In contrast, the volatile yet passionate relationship of Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton bled into their performances in films like Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? Their tempestuous, real-life love affair, fueled by passion, jealousy, and excess, perfectly suited the raw, unrelenting dynamic of George and Martha. Their chemistry was undeniable, but it was also turbulent, making their portrayal one of the most brutally authentic depictions of a marriage unraveling. These relationships remind us of the power of authenticity in cinema. When actors share a connection beyond the script, it elevates their performances, adding layers that no direction or dialogue can replicate. For audiences, it creates an experience that feels alive, as if they're fiery, independent energy, a contrast that mirrored their real-life bond. Hepburn, who nursed Tracy through his health struggles, brought an almost maternal care to her performances, also drew on their personal hardships to enrich their portrayals. Bogart's turbulent marriages and Bacall's rise from obscurity informed their characters' unspoken yearning in films like Key Largo. Taylor's multiple heartbreaks gave her an unparalleled ability to depict love's complexities. From ecstasy, in each case, it wasn't just talent that made their performances iconic, it was their ability to channel their personal experiences into their roles. By infusing their characters with their own triumphs and vulnerabilities, these actors transcended mere storytelling, giving audiences something far richer, an authentic connection that lingers long after the credits roll. Here's an exploration of moments where on-screen chemistry between actors was so electric, it transcended the script, creating unforgettable cinematic magic. Sometimes, the connection between actors defies explanation. It's not just about delivering lines or executing blocking, it's about the unspoken, magnetic pull that makes their relationship leap off the screen. These moments of undeniable on-screen chemistry gave the film its emotional core. Julia Roberts and Richard Gere. Pretty Woman. In Pretty Woman, Julia Roberts and Richard Gere's chemistry feels so effortless. It's as if they were destined to share the screen. Roberts' infectious charm and Gere's understated elegance create a dynamic that's equal parts playful and deeply romantic. The famous jewelry box scene, where Gere snaps the lid shut on Roberts' fingers, prompting her to burst into laughter, was unscripted, yet it became one of the film's most. Audrey Hepburn and Gregory Peck's chemistry in Roman Holiday is subtle but undeniable. Their interactions as Princess Anne and journalist Joe Bradley are imbued with warmth and sincerity, making their bittersweet romance all the more poignant. Off-screen, Peck reportedly insisted that Hepburn receive top billing alongside him after recognizing her star power, a gesture that reflected their mutual respect and likely contributed to the authenticity of their on-screen relationship. These pairings remind us that on-screen chemistry is more than just acting. It's about trust, connection, and the ability to tap into something universal. Even the best-written romance can fall flat without this spark, while a truly magical pairing can transform even the simplest stories into unforgettable experiences. Would you like to explore more pairings or dive into how directors and writers amplify these connections? Here's an exploration of how real-life connections influence the dynamics and chemistry of iconic on-screen couples, elevating their performances. Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. From sparks to cinematic legend, the real-life romance of Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall added a depth to their on-screen chemistry that few could match. Meeting on the set of To Have and Have Not when Bogart was just 19 and Bogart was 44, their connection was immediate and electric. Then came another, Far From Home. Bogart, married at the time, found in Bacall a calming presence and a playful partner, while Bacall, though inexperienced, exuded confidence that complemented Bacall's stoic charm. This dynamic bled into their characters. In Key Largo and The Big Sleep, Bacall's sultry confidence softened Bogart's hardened exterior, creating a balance that made their relationships believable and compelling. Their real-life devotion translated to moments of unspoken tenderness on screen. A glance, a touch, a pause between words, all of which conveyed far more than dialogue ever could. When silence has ceased, Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy, a quiet understanding. The enduring partnership of Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy was rooted in a profound off-screen connection despite their complicated circumstances. Their 20s, even as Tracy remained married. This unspoken bond manifested in their 9 on-screen pairings, where their chemistry thrived on subtlety and nuance. In Adam's Rib, their natural interplay as a married couple on opposing sides of the courtroom captured the essence of their real-life dynamic. Hepburn's spirited independence, sparring with Tracy's steady pragmatism. Their off-screen relationship brought a lived-in authenticity to their characters, evident in the way they bickered and reconciled, with a warmth that felt genuine. Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. Passion and turmoil. Few couples captured the highs and lows of love as vividly as Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. Their fiery, real-life romance, complete with 2 marriages and 2 divorces, fueled the intensity of their performances together. In Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, their turbulent off-screen dynamics of George and Martha, their ability to draw from their real emotions added a visceral edge to their characters. The bitterness, passion, and regret they brought to the screen felt less like acting and more like an unfiltered glimpse into their own relationship. Critics and audiences alike were captivated by the authenticity, with Burton later admitting, "The film was more like real life than we'd intended." Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet, the bond of friendship. Although never romantically involved, Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet's close friendship gave their on-screen pairing in Titanic an unmistakable depth. Off-camera, the two developed a playful, trusting relationship that allowed them to bring a vulnerability to Jack and Rose. Winslet later revealed that their friendship made them feel completely comfortable with each other, enabling them to explore the emotional highs and lows of young love without hesitation. Their connection extended beyond Titanic, with the two reuniting for Revolutionary Road. Here, their off-screen bond added gravity to their portrayal of a couple struggling with the confines of suburban life. Their ability to lean on their real friendship allowed them to portray complex emotions with honesty and rawness. Audrey Hepburn and Gregory Peck. Mutual respect. In Roman Holiday, Audrey Hepburn and Gregory Peck's connection was rooted in admiration and camaraderie. Off-screen, Peck treated Hepburn, then a relative newcomer, with kindness and encouragement, going so far as to ensure she received equal billing after recognizing her star potential. For a while, this real-life respect translated effortlessly into their characters, Princess Anne and Joe Bradley. Their dynamic on-screen was a delicate balance of warmth and restraint. With Peck's, the bittersweet nature of their romance felt authentic because their personal connection underscored every moment of trust and affection. Gaga. Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. Artistic symbiosis. The undeniable chemistry between Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga in A Star Is Born stemmed from a deep, shared respect and understanding. Off-screen, the two formed a close creative partnership, with Cooper directing Gaga for the first time in a major acting role, and Gaga inspiring Cooper's musical performances. Their collaboration was built on trust, which translated into an on-screen relationship that felt emotionally raw and deeply personal. Without Gaga has credited Cooper with making her feel safe during vulnerable moments, such as the intimate opening duet, Shallow. Their bond gave them the confidence to explore the fragility of their character's love story, resulting in a performance that blurred the line between acting and reality. Conclusion. The fusion of life and art. These real-life connections, whether romantic, platonic, or rooted in mutual respect, brought a layer of authenticity to performances that mere acting techniques couldn't replicate. Audiences felt the truth behind the fiction, sensing the real emotions that underscored every look, touch, and line delivery. By drawing from their personal relationships, these actors created moments of on-screen chemistry that continue to captivate and endure, reminding us that the most powerful stories are those that resonate with reality. Here's a deeper look at couples who fell in love on set, where their real-life romances added an extra layer of intrigue and passion to their on-screen chemistry. Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, Cleopatra. Few Hollywood romances have captivated the public quite like Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton's fiery relationship, which began on the set of Cleopatra in 1963. Both married to other people at the time, Taylor and Burton couldn't deny their magnetic pull. Their steamy affair dominated tabloids and scandalized audiences, but it also fueled their on-screen passion. And Mark Antony, their chemistry was palpable, and their real-life relationship bled into their performances. The intensity of their love affair became a hallmark of their many films together, particularly The Taming of the Shrew and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, where their personal highs and lows added authenticity to their portrayals of love, conflict, and heartbreak. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt's romance famously ignited on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, 2005, a film about a married couple rediscovering their passion while moonlighting as assassins hired to kill each other. Though Pitt was married to Jennifer Aniston at the time, rumors of an on-set connection between him and Jolie quickly surfaced. Their undeniable chemistry fueled the film's success, with audiences drawn to their playful yet fiery dynamic. The energy between them in scenes of conflict and intimacy felt so authentic that it blurred the line between fiction and reality. The couple went on to marry and have 6 children before their eventual split stumbled into 5 power couples before their eventual split. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, Green Lantern. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively first met on the set of Green Lantern, 2011, and while their on-screen pairing as Hal Jordan and Carol Ferris may not have set the box office alight, their off-screen connection proved unforgettable. At the time, both were involved in other relationships, but sparks began to fly after filming ended. Their natural chemistry and shared sense of humor have been evident in their later public appearances and social media interactions. Although their on-screen romance in Green Lantern was scripted, the foundation for their real-life love story was clearly being built. Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. Swing shift. Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn met in the 1960s, but didn't fall in love until they worked together on the set of Swing Shift, 1983. Playing love interests in a World War II-era romance, the pair found their connection blossoming off-screen. Their chemistry was apparent in every scene they shared, and their real-life relationship has endured for over 4 decades without marriage, making them one of Hollywood's most beloved couples. Their natural ease with one another has translated to later projects, like the comedy Overboard, 1987, where their real-life bond brought charm and warmth to their performances. Penelope Cruz and Javier Bardem. Hermon Jamon, Penelope Cruz, and Javier Bardem first met while filming Jamon Jamon, 1992, where their characters shared a tempestuous romance. Though sparks flew during production, their relationship didn't begin until years later, when they reunited for Vicky Cristina Barcelona, 2008, and they worked very well together. Penelope Cruz and Javier Bardem finds it impossible to tell which of the suitors own. In both films, their chemistry was electric, combining sensuality with emotional depth. Off-screen, the couple's connection has grown even stronger, and their shared commitment to their craft has made them one of the most respected duos in the industry. Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck. Though their relationship didn't officially begin until after filming, their on-screen chemistry down with several other stars on the scene. Their romance flourished off-screen, leading to a marriage that lasted over a decade and produced 3 children. While their relationship eventually ended, their time together remains a testament to the way on-set connections can spark lasting bonds. Richard Madden and Lily James, Cinderella. Though their relationship was never officially confirmed, rumors swirled about the chemistry between Richard Madden and Lily James during the filming of Cinderella. Their portrayals of Prince Charming and Cinderella were brimming with warmth and tenderness, leading many to believe their connection went beyond the screen. In interviews, both actors have spoken fondly of their time together on set, with James describing Madden as the perfect Prince Charming. While their off-screen status remained ambiguous, their chemistry undeniably contributed to the magic of the film. Bonus: classic pairings that sparked real love, Lauren Bacall and Humphrey Bogart. To have and have not. Their enduring romance started during filming, with their undeniable chemistry shining in every scene. Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward, The Long Hot Summer. Their on-set romance blossomed into one of Hollywood's longest-lasting marriages, marked by deep respect and partnership. These couples prove that when on-screen sparks mirror off-screen emotions, it creates a unique kind of magic that captivates audiences and leaves a lasting impression. Would you like to delve deeper into any of these pairings or explore another angle? Keep moving, UB. Here's an analysis of how the real-life relationships between on-set couples influence the storyline and character development of their films, adding layers of depth, authenticity, and intrigue. Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, real-life relationship. Taylor and Burton's passionate yet tumultuous relationship was notorious for its highs and lows, often played out in the public eye. Impact on the film. Their real-life volatility seeped into their portrayals of George and Martha, a married couple locked in a toxic cycle of love and destruction. The raw, cutting arguments between the characters felt almost too real, as if they were reliving their own battles on screen. Their shared history gave their performances an edge, bringing an unfiltered honesty to their interactions. Burton's sardonic delivery and Taylor's explosive vulnerability painted a portrait of a couple whose love and resentment were deeply intertwined. Without their real-life connection, the film might have lacked the visceral intensity that made it iconic. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, real-life relationship. Jolie and Pitt's relationship blossomed during filming, despite Pitt being married at the time, making their romance both controversial and headline-grabbing. Life impact on the film. The palpable chemistry between Jolie and Pitt elevated the story of a married couple who rediscover their love while trying to kill each other. Their playful banter, physical intimacy, action. While the film itself didn't receive much critical acclaim, their performances reflected an unspoken trust that would later define their off-screen relationship. Had their real-life romance not existed, their on-screen dynamic might have felt more forced or formulaic. Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall, To Have and Have Not, real-life relationship. Bogart and Bacall fell in love during filming, despite Bogart being married. Their love story became one of Hollywood's most celebrated romances. Impact on the film. Bacall's character Slim exudes confidence and charm, qualities that reflected her real-life allure to Bogart. Their flirtatious exchanges, such as Slim's famous "You know how to whistle, don't you" line, crackle with authentic sexual tension. Bogart's usually reserved demeanor softened in her presence, adding a layer of vulnerability to his character. Their genuine connection made their on-screen romance unforgettable and set a standard for Hollywood love stories. Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward. The Long Hot Summer, real-life relationship. Newman and Woodward fell in love during the production of this film, beginning a partnership that would last over 50 years. Impact on the film. Their chemistry brought a simmering tension and emotional depth to their characters, Ben Quick and Clara Varner. Bridget Madden and Lily James, Cinderella, real-life relationship. Although their off-screen relationship was never confirmed, their connection during filming sparked speculation. Impact on the film. Their chemistry added a layer of sincerity and warmth to the fairy tale romance of Cinderella and Prince Charming. Madden's charm and James's heartfelt vulnerability meshed beautifully, creating a believable love story that felt timeless. Richard Burton, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? Personal experience. Taylor and Burton's relationship was a whirlwind of passion, infidelity, and tumult. Their public tumult mirrored the stormy dynamic between their characters in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, a film that explores the collapse of a marriage. Their intense off-screen material that fueled their portrayal of George and Martha. Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton's relationship provided the raw emotional material that fueled their portrayal of George and Martha. Layer of complexity. The tumultuous nature of their relationship gave their performances an added depth of emotional complexity. The rawness of their verbal sparring, the cruelty and love intertwined in their exchanges felt more real because they were drawing from their own experiences. Taylor, known for her vulnerability, was able to channel her personal pain and desires into Martha, while Burton's typically controlled demeanor cracked under the pressure, making George's breakdown feel all the more potent. Their personal history brought authenticity to the volatile, destructive love between the characters. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, adding a deeper layer of passion and emotional complexity to their performances. As their relationship intensified off-screen, so did the stakes on-screen, making their final confrontation and resolution feel both thrilling and deeply emotional. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. Green Lantern. Personal experience. Reynolds and Lively became romantically involved after filming Green Lantern, but their friendship and natural camaraderie during production are evident in their on-screen chemistry. A layer of complexity. While the film itself didn't stand out as a major success, the real connection between Reynolds and Lively added a warmth to their portrayals of Hal Jordan and Carol Ferris. Their ease with each other off-screen allowed them to portray a relationship full of trust and playful teasing, which contributed to the film's charm. The comfort they shared translated into a believability that was otherwise lacking in the script's more action-driven moments. This unspoken emotional support between them made their characters' romantic arc more genuine, turning what could have been a conventional superhero love story into something more heartfelt. Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, Overboard, personal experience. Russell and Hawn have been together for decades, but their chemistry in Overboard can be traced back to their years of working together and developing a bond that felt completely authentic. Layer of complexity. Russell and Hawn's off-screen relationship lent an undeniable warmth and trust to their portrayals of Dean and Joanna. Dean's gruff, humorous exterior and Joanna's self-absorbed, spoiled nature provided the perfect backdrop for their emotional growth as characters. The ease with which they interacted, particularly during their playful bickering and eventual romance, felt real because it was built on years of mutual respect and affection. Their personal experiences made the comedy sharper and the emotional moments more touching, giving the film an extra layer of sincerity beneath the humor. Penelope Cruz and Javier Bardem. Vicky Cristina Barcelona. Personal experience. Cruz and Bardem, both celebrated Spanish actors, had been romantically involved for years by the time they worked together on Vicky Cristina Barcelona. Their real-life chemistry played a pivotal role in the depth of their performances, playing to them true love made perfect. This was something Herman and her friends loved to do. And just because it was in the book, they didn't mention it. Layer of complexity. In Vicky Cristina Barcelona, Cruz plays Maria Elena, an unpredictable, passionate woman who captures the hearts of both men, played by Bardem and Scarlett Johansson. The complexity of Cruz and Bardem's real-life connection brought a raw, unfiltered energy to their on-screen relationship. The tumultuous passion between their characters felt genuine because the actors had an inherent understanding of the dynamics of love, jealousy, and heartbreak. Their off-screen relationship provided an emotional depth that made their portrayal of Maria Elena and Juan Antonio more than just a love triangle. It became a nuanced exploration of human connection and emotional vulnerability. Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga, A Star is Born. Personal experience. While not romantically involved, Cooper and Gaga shared a close friendship that grew throughout the production of A Star is Born. Their bond allowed them to open up emotionally and create characters that felt deeply authentic. Ben, the layer of complexity. Cooper and Gaga's friendship gave their performances as Jackson and Ali a level of intimacy and trust that transcended mere acting. Both characters are grappling with their own vulnerabilities. Jackson's addiction and career decline. Ali's struggle to be seen and heard as an artist. Cooper's directory approach allowed Gaga to fully immerse herself in the role, and their emotional openness helped bring these characters to life. Their personal chemistry turned the film's romantic arc into something much more profound, a story of self-discovery, sacrifice, and mutual support. The layers of complexity in their performances were deeply rooted in the trust they built off-screen, making their characters' journey toward redemption all the more impactful. Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward, The Long Hot Summer. Personal experience. Newman and Woodward's real that was less about grand gestures and more about the quiet, tender moments that build true connections. This was a story that wasn't centered on Clara, and the kids were blown away, and they wanted to know more. Conclusion. Personal experience as a tool for authenticity. The real-life relationships between these iconic couples brought an added layer of emotional complexity and depth to their performances. These actors were not merely playing roles. They were sharing a part of themselves on screen, drawing from personal experiences to enrich the story. Whether through playful tension, raw vulnerability, or deep affection, their relationships made the films more compelling because they felt rooted in truth. The emotional honesty they brought to their characters elevated the films, turning them into timeless stories that continue to resonate with audiences. When actors are in real, particularly the famous exchange, you know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You just put your lips together and blow. Felt electric because of their off-screen attraction. The chemistry between them was so palpable that it became a defining aspect of their characters. The romance in the film is built on their shared tension and mutual admiration. And it was these very qualities, rooted in their real-life relationship, that elevated the movie. To Have and Have Not became a classic, in part because of the real emotional depth and believability the two actors brought to their characters. Or The Long Hot Summer. Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward. Real-life relationship. Newman and Woodward were already a couple when they starred in The Long Hot Summer, 1958, a film about a charming drifter who disrupts a Southern family. Amplified chemistry. Their long-standing off-screen relationship added layers of authenticity to their portrayal of Ben Quick and Clara Varner. The tenderness, trust, and affection they had for one another helped inform their characters' complex emotional journey. The warmth between them made their on-screen relationship compelling, as viewers could sense the genuine bond. Newman and Woodward's chemistry made The Long Hot Summer more than just a Southern drama. It transforms the film into a tender exploration of love, longing, and the unspoken connection between two people. 5. Cleo from 5 to 7, Corinne Marchand and Antoine Bourseya. Amplified chemistry. Their relationship brought an intimacy and naturalism to the film, particularly in the scenes where they share close conversations about life, love, and the passage of time. Their real connection deepened their portrayal of a young couple in love, which enhanced the authenticity of the film. Their chemistry contributed to the film's success by making their interactions feel genuine, adding depth to their roles as Cleo and her lover. Then the waiting for the section for the film went on, but shackled to the film. The intimacy between the two actors elevated the emotional undercurrents, transforming the film into a moving, nuanced character study. Later in the evening, 6. A Star is Born. Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. Real-life relationship? Although Cooper and Gaga were not romantically involved, their deep friendship and mutual respect allowed them to connect on a personal level throughout the production of A Star is Born 2.9, where they played Jackson Maine and Ali, two artists with a complex romantic and professional relationship. Amplified chemistry. Cooper and Gaga's genuine friendship allowed them to portray a realistic, emotionally charged bond on screen. The depth of their connection lent itself to raw, vulnerable performances, particularly in the film's music sequences, where they played off each other's energy. The chemistry between them was crucial to the success of the film, as it made the story of love, addiction, and sacrifice feel authentic. Their performances were deeply moving, and the film's success at the box office and with critics was fueled by the emotional power of their chemistry. 7. Out of Sight. George Clooney and Jennifer Lopez. Real-life relationship. Clooney and Lopez were romantically involved during the filming of Out of Sight, 1998, a crime comedy where they played a bank robber and a US Marshal whose fates become entwined. Amplified chemistry. The playful, seductive energy between Clooney and Lopez was undeniable, and it added a layer of complexity to their characters. Their real-life chemistry made their on-screen flirtation electric. Life relationships between actors often result in heightened on-screen chemistry. This natural connection allows their portrayals to feel authentic, whether it's through playful flirtation, deep emotional intensity, or a tender bond. Audiences can sense the genuine affection and attraction between the actors, making the characters' romantic attraction between the actors. Steve Owen. Louise sat biscuits and cookies in the dining room of the house. Example, The Notebook. Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams' real-life romance made their characters' love story feel genuine, turning it into a timeless classic. 2. Emotional depth and authenticity. When actors share a real emotional bond, their performances gain a level of depth that scripted dialogues alone cannot achieve. The vulnerability and intimacy between them allow the characters to feel multi-dimensional, making their emotional journeys more powerful and relatable to audiences. Example, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton's tumultuous relationship mirrored their characters' volatile marriage, bringing a raw and painful authenticity to their portrayals. 3. Natural connection, experience that resonates with audiences long after the credits roll. The unique blend of real-life connection and on-screen chemistry is what often makes iconic movie couples so memorable. It's the magic that happens when actors' personal bonds seamlessly intertwine with their performances, creating a relationship that feels both real and cinematic. Here are the key elements that contribute to this unforgettable synergy. 1. Natural ease and comfort. When actors are romantically involved or share a deep friendship, the ease with which they interact off-screen comes across on-screen. Their real-life comfort with one another translates into an organic and authentic portrayal of their characters' relationships. This natural ease allows the chemistry to feel unforced, making their on-screen bond relatable and compelling. Example, The Long Hot Summer. Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward's decades-long relationship infused their performances with a warmth and trust that made their characters' evolving romance feel genuine, with no need for excessive melodrama. 2. Example, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton's turbulent personal lives mirrored the emotional volatility of their characters, George and Martha, which made the intensity of their scenes feel raw and real. 3. Unspoken chemistry. Sometimes it's the quiet moments between actors. Those unspoken glances, shared touches, or subtle expressions that carry the most weight. Real-life relationships allow for a level of non-verbal communication, an understanding that can't be scripted, leading to an understated yet permeates their performances, sharing an undercurrent of intimacy that permeates their performances. Example, The Notebook. Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams' love story was charged not only by their on-screen dialogue, but by the unspoken moments, the way their characters' eyes met, the way they held each other, that felt grounded in the chemistry they shared in real life. 4. Playful tension and dynamic interplay. Off-screen relationships often create a playful tension on-screen, particularly in roles where characters tease or spar with each other. The actors' personal rapport and comfort with one another can amplify this dynamic, making it feel light-hearted, yet filled with invisible layer that allows them to playfully challenge each other without it ever feeling forced. Is that right? This is the best thing I've ever heard. Example, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt's real-life relationship added an electric energy to their characters' playful banter and spy versus spy antics, turning their on-screen chemistry into a dynamic that was both fun and intense. 5. A rich emotional backdrop. When actors in a real-life relationship share a history, it adds a layer of depth to their performances. Their personal experiences, whether romantic, familial, or otherwise, shape how they approach their characters. This shared history informs the way they respond to each other, whether it's with trust, frustration, passion, or tenderness, and enhances the emotional arc of the film. Example, To Have and Have Not. Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall's on-screen romance was fueled by their real-life attraction, but it was also enriched by their mutual respect and affection, turning their character dynamics from mere flirtation into something timeless and genuine. 6. Spontaneity and improvisation. Actors who are in a relationship often have a unique ability to improvise together, building off each other's energy in the moment. Their comfort with each other allows for more spontaneous interactions, leading to moments of improvisation that can make their chemistry even more palpable. This shared creativity often results in unforgettable scenes that feel both fresh and deeply emotional. Example, Out of Sight. George Clooney and Jennifer Lopez's off-screen relationship brought an improvisational quality to their characters' interactions, especially in their famous trunk scene, where the chemistry felt playful, yet intimate, helping elevate the film's romantic tension. 7. Depth in conflict and resolution. The emotional complexity of real-life relationships can also deepen the portrayal of conflict and resolution between characters. When actors share a personal bond, the stakes of their on-screen arguments or reconciliations are amplified. The tension between them feels more real, and their emotional resolution carries a weight that resonates beyond the film. Example: Before Sunrise, Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy's friendship, though not romantic at the time, allowed their characters to engage in lengthy, soul-searching conversations about love and life, bringing a profound depth to their connection that made their eventual separation feel poignant and meaningful. 8. Authentic passion and believability. The most memorable movie couples are those whose passion feels undeniable. Real-life relationships often bring